I'm a massive fan, and Milesy, I can't thank you enough for helping to arrange this. Charlie Vickers from Rings of Power, thank you so much for joining us. And we had a little chance to chat before, you missed this. But I was saying to Charlie what a buzz it is when you come down and you're sort of stood here and then you suddenly just see the team start warming up behind you and you hear that roar go up, you're like, this is pretty cool.
They just came out now, and I mean, I normally sit up there, and it's still exciting when they come out, but to see them come out this close is, I mean, I'm in heaven right now.
You're a season ticket holder, Charlie, that's amazing.
Yeah.
How do you find time?
I don't know. I mean, normally you don't work on the weekends. Sometimes I'm away, but whenever I'm here, I live here. I've lived here for like 10 years. Whenever I'm here, it's kind of a weekend ritual, like it is for so many people. You can come here and just forget about everything that's going on in your life and just focus on watching the team for 90 minutes.
But you're a Spurs fan from, I mean, people obviously can hear that you're an Aussie, but you're a Spurs fan from as long as you can remember, right?
Yeah. I mean, my grandfather was born not far from here, but then I grew up in Melbourne. So I had a childhood and an adolescence of watching Spurs in the middle of the night.
Sneaking downstairs.
Yeah, exactly, in pitch black. So, yeah, when I moved here 10 years ago, my Tottenham fandom kind of intensified because I could just, watch them at 3 p.m. or at 12:30.
I bet you landed from Oz, put your suitcases down, next morning, right, how do I get a season ticket?
Season ticket waiting list straight away. It was literally like that. And then I think of maybe 5 years passed, and I was saying to Ben, when we had the season at Wembley, they opened up a whole bunch, and I got it then, and I've clung on to it ever since.
Yeah. I love as well that you've got one of my favourite kits. It was such a golden era, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So when you think back to sort of your first games coming here and seeing Spurs play, who was in that group? Who was in that team that you sort of enjoyed watching?
I mean, the first team, it was the Pochettino team was the first team when I was in England. The teams before him with Peter Crouch and Gareth Bale and Ledley and those generations I watched from Australia. But it was really the Poch team. I mean, Christian Eriksen's on the back of this.
I saw that.
I have another one with Musa. I think I've got the same kit, but the away kit with Musa on it.
Is that the blue one?
Yeah, the blue one, which was equally cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Musa's my favourite player ever for Tottenham, at least that I've.
Oh, you won't be alone in
my
that
lifetime.
It's sort of weird to still miss someone even after they've retired, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
Everyone always talks about him as well. Okay. The players do. Well, I think maybe you guys have interviewed them, and they always say Musa was the best player they've played with.
100%. Yeah. I'm just having a little chuckle at myself, Charlie, because obviously you're supporting Spurs from Oz, and then you come to England. And then we go to Australia three times in 5 years.
Have you been there for any of them?
No, never. I've had some mates go to matches there because I have a whole bunch of mates and we're all,
So you're watching Spurs playing at the MCC and thinking, oh, here, wind him up.
No, I'm here.
So ridiculous.
Exactly.
But we're very grateful that you've come over and that we've got you here as a season ticket holder, and it's so fab to have you down at Pitch Yard as well. Tell us what you've been up to recently, because I'm so excited for you. What a wonderful production to be a part of.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been an amazing, life-changing experience. I've been doing a show called The Rings of Power, which is about Lord of the Rings. And I play the bad guy, I guess. Sauron. As bad as you can get. But yeah, we filmed the first season in New Zealand and the second season here in the UK. So it's been nice to be back at home now with my family and working here. And yeah, we've just finished a promotional tour for it. So it's going to be nice to return to real life, normal life for a bit.
I remember watching Lord of the Rings. I mean, those fantastic Peter Jackson films. And Sauron is just the all-seeing eye. He's the embodiment of evil. But you think to yourself, it's not a physical person.
Yeah.
Someone has got to bring that embodiment of evil into real life.
I know, that's me.
The smiliest guy in the stadium.
Exactly. It's so often the way. That was a real challenge of doing the role, I guess, because the eye is iconic, right? But our show's a prequel. In the earlier ages of Middle Earth, he was a guide walking around and making a bunch of rings.
Exactly.
Was it strange when you get cast, when you find out you've got the role, there's that moment of excitement, like, oh my God, I've got this, and then you go,
oh my God, I've got this.
Oh yeah.
Actually got
I think it's that 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes of excitement, and then the dread of like actually having to do it sets in, and the expectation.
What was the setup for the whole series? I mean, I'm assuming you all had to go out there. How long were you out there for?
Yeah, well, we were in New Zealand for 2 years.
Yeah.
I think it was originally
it's a
only
massive
meant to
commitment.
be. Yeah, it was meant to be 6 months to a year, but it was during COVID, so we were out there. It doubled the time we were out there. But then the second season production moved back here, so I think we filmed the second season over 10 months. So it's a long commitment, but like I'm so grateful.
He's
to be
thinking, I've just got my season ticket, and
now I have to go to New Zealand.
2 years
was exactly
away.
that.
Was there a huge amount of prep? I mean, I've seen before you speak a lot about your knowledge around Lord of the Rings. Was there a lot of prep going into it for you? Did you have to go back to the kind of early text as well as the film?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking before about the Silmarillion. It's like books like that, which are big prequel books to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. There is so much research, and that's part of your job as an actor. I see it. It's one of the really enjoyable bits for me, the preparation.
But it's one of those series you've got to get it right, haven't you?
Yeah,
in Lord
exactly.
of the Rings. I mean, it's such a mammoth.
And you could never get to the end of all the research there is to do, but I wanted to try and, in order to do the character justice, just to learn as much as I could about it, to inform what I was doing.
I assume you were a fan before of the Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah, but not a super fan. I watched the films, and then I played the PlayStation games. I was big into
They were so good though,
the
weren't
PlayStation
they?
2 video
co-op games.
Yeah, unbelievable.
A
Very
lot of
hard.
hours wasted there.
Oh yeah.
A lot of hours wasted on that as a kid.
So many.
Take us into today, Charlie. How excited are you to be down at Pitchside watching Spurs, but also to see us in the London derby?
It's incredible. I mean, I've been to quite a few now against West Ham. It's always a big, important match for both teams. And yeah, I mean, after this, I'll go up to my seat in the South Stand and I'll watch it like a normal match. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see Sonny back, to see the players this close.
Well, you'll see him even closer soon, because that's part of the warm-up there.
I'm going to linger around here as long as possible.
As you can. Yeah, it's we were just saying before, West Ham is one of those weird ones, because you play Arsenal and you're very much aware that anything could happen in the North London derby.
Yeah.
You play West Ham and I feel like there's more pressure because we all feel like we should go out and beat West Ham.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I know exactly what you mean. And it's kind of like the history of the fixture, and it makes it, with where the teams have been standing in the table the last couple of years, you do feel like you have to win, but it kind of, that level of expectation can, as a fan, you kind of feel a bit weighed down by it at times.
So true. It's the expectation actually makes it worse.
Exactly. Whereas with Arsenal, it's like, well, anything can happen. Anything, and often anything does happen in those matches.
Well, lots of pressure on today. What's the score going to be today, Charlie?
Let's go bold. Let's go, I think, a return to winning ways, 3-0.
Oh, well, that is very bold.
I love that.
Yeah, love that.
Sheet. Charlie,
love that.
such a pleasure. Thank you so much. Come visit us again.
Thank you, my friend.
So much for having me, guys.
Absolute pleasure. Make sure you check out Rings of Power. Let's go back up to Rob and Clive. Gents, just talk us through that starting lineup one more time. Oh, I don't think Rob and Clive.
He's signing autographs again, isn't he?
Probably is Clive taking selfies.